Hello, everybody. Riku here. I was originally going to rant about the players changing a class that I really come to love, and then it evolved to my speculation on why my job got changed, and the idea was that, oh, maybe the dev team did it because of the old weirdness of the engine. But then it was that thought of the weird old engine that led me to another place. How much I hate Square Enix. Not the team developing Final Fantasy XIV. I mean the heads of Square Enix that are overseeing the products that we love. And I want to get into that. Viper, it's like Kirito from Sword Art Online. You get to wield two swords and you be cool and flashy. That's what a lot of people love the class for. I love the class because you got to wield two swords. I'm a very simple man. I love dual wielding. And they changed the job recently. A certain mechanic from the job got removed. It was called, let me just check this real quick. Noxious Nash. Sorry about that. And it was a debuff. You applied it to the enemy, you did more damage. When you applied it, it lasted for 20 seconds, up to a max of 40. They removed the debuff. They gave you a bunch of buffs in return, but overall you did just 2% more damage. And people complained about it. I'm complaining about the removal. There were people saying it's an easy thing to maintain, it's a hard thing to maintain. What is it called? Vocal minority. And at first this video is going to be ranting about that change, but then it was like, why are they getting rid of the debuff? And then in my head it was like, oh, they've been getting rid of a lot of dots. You know, maybe this debuff has something to do with them removing a bunch of dots over the years, because for a while, since the game launched, maybe there's some weirdness to it. And then the thought of the old engine kept replaying in my head. I was like, you know, maybe, just maybe, things would be a little better for the team if the engine could be updated, because they've been working on that engine for over 10 years now, I think, at this point, because this is the engine that they made of Final Fantasy XIV 1.0, the version that famously you weren't being paid for, but you never had to pay for a sub for the game, because they were like, oh no, this game isn't worth it. So they were selling the game, but they weren't making money off of it, but they're also updating it. And then when Yoshi P came on board, he was updating the game and also trying to build a form of the game for A Realm Reborn, which is what a lot of people got to know instead of the 1.0. This game has been, the game at launch of 2.0 was very clunky. It had a lot of issues still, but the team were working their best to fix these things at the back end. And any small change at this point, you know, could have disastrous, monstrous effects in the rest of the game, because I'm assuming a lot of these finer points are dug deep into the code. So they can't really take the game down to test it, maybe a test environment, whatever. But anyways, the thing that frustrates me about Final Fantasy XIV is that after everything it's accomplished, I don't think Square Enix is taking it seriously. This expansion, Yoshi P said, is probably the one they'll have like the most things to do. Kind of like Stormblood. Stormblood had a lot of content for players to engage in, and around that same level for Dawntrail is what they're promising. But I think if the company would just take them seriously for once, things wouldn't be so hard on us, the players. What do I mean by that? Who here has gotten an ad for Final Fantasy XIV after looking at something up? I'm assuming most people at this point, or have you heard your favorite streamer talk about it? Because everyone plays Final Fantasy XIV at this point. That's not how it used to be. Before Stormblood, I don't think I remember really seeing an ad for Final Fantasy XIV at all. It was just content creators talking about it. It was only really when Shadowbringers was coming out that I started to see more advertising for the game. And this is what pisses me off. There's a little-known game called Final Fantasy 15. People like it, people hate it. But what can't be disputed is that this game took forever to come out, and it cost the company of Square Enix a lot of money. Because this game costs so much, it needs to succeed. Well, the CEO was really pushing for this game and the other heads to make this game, you know, the big success, to show that, no, we still got here at Square Enix. And the game did not come out fully complete. At least to whatever degree of completeness they were thinking, it did not come out. Players, again, they either loved it, people either hated it. A lot of people just found it kind of eh. Also, I do think this is weird, like one of the big detailed talent in the game, there's actually not that much to do, despite how detailed it is and how important they make it. So game comes out, it doesn't sell as much as it needs to. And some people complain about the story, and they're like, okay, we'll add in DLC, let's add in some mechanics, and yeah, we'll be all good. The CEO's like, yeah, we'll make this work. The DLC comes out from the main cast. They announced like a big plan to release a bunch of different game modes and DLCs for Final Fantasy 15. And I truly believe it was a last-ditch effort to like make this game profitable or something. I think it was some cost fallacy at that point. But someone at Square Enix, whether it was the investors or the leaders or the CEO himself, they finally said, no, this has to stop. And I doubt it was the CEO. I really do. I think it was investors who told him to fuck off. Final Fantasy 15 is now dead in the water. What you have is what you have. So a lot of unleft potential. Oh, hey. Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers is coming out soon. And this was the first time I remember seeing the CEO ever supporting that game whatsoever in any way. And it was only then the game started to get more marketing. Before Shadowbringers, the game was making them money. The game was starting to make a name for itself, people were really liking it, but they never got support before that. I remember seeing a few videos, I don't know if it was Mr. Happy, ProJared, or someone else who was saying that if the company were just to put some money behind this game, this could become a titan, like a big successful competitor to, an actual competitor to WoW in terms of their subscribers. And look where we are now. But I feel that the company has not actually been supporting them at all. That they are expanding, but more of that came from, how to put this, I don't think Square Enix had a hand in that at all. I don't think they really are helping the team, and that the only reason the team has expanded is just because Square Enix itself is growing, so they're like, oh, we probably need to put more people there because they're making a product, but that's about it. Not in the terms of this game needs to succeed, so we're going to put some talented individuals in there, make sure to get all the training they need, and whatever else to make sure that, you know, we can deliver a really quality product. I firmly fucking believe that Square Enix is putting in the least amount of money they can into the project to make it work. And that Yoshi P is being a fucking miracle worker at this point, trying to get this product to succeed more and more each time. Square Enix does not relish Final Fantasy XIV as much as it should. Like, I feel like the success of Final Fantasy XIV has been through the hard work of Yoshi P and his team. And Square Enix has just been there to give them the minimum amount of assistance that they need. But, oh no, they'll throw in hundreds of millions of dollars to 15 to, you know, to make this game sell. But when it comes to the MMO, not really. I'm willing to believe that Final Fantasy XIV is making a good amount of money for Square Enix, but they're not willing to return the favor for Final Fantasy XIV. And that's what this rant is about. Final Fantasy XIV's team has worked tooth and nail to make the product that they have, and I just don't feel like the company's behind them at all. And whatever support they give them, I feel, is very minimal. And I just wish they do more for them. As much as they've done to fucking fill the pockets of the investors, but this is a business. Just like as they can say, Final Fantasy XIV is a product, they don't care about your feelings, they just care that you're putting money in their pockets. I feel like that statement for this isn't true. I feel that the dev team does care what we think, and they're doing the best they can. It's that Square Enix is just a piece of shit, and I hate the leadership. So yeah, going from players to the engine to just realizing, hey, the team who makes this game that I really like, the people that own them, can go fuck themselves. And that's my video. This video originally was planned to just rant about the people complaining about, or saying that the Viper change was a good thing and all of that, but after taking a few days to think about this and on the few recordings I've done, I've just realized that I don't think the company's ever gonna really give the support they should for the dev team. Because you might be like, what did the engine have to do with any of this? It had to do with like giving them the personnel or hiring people to like work on a separate copy of the engine and update it as need be so that it can become more modernized, at least in that sense. But I don't think Square Enix is willing to put out that money for that kind of change, because if it works, you know. It's probably in a whiteboard somewhere. It's like, we'd ideally like to get this done. And yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if the company actually felt like they were helping the team? I think so. Yeah. That's what the whole engine thing had to do. Sorry it took so long to get back to that point, but in my honest opinion, I don't think they'd ever be willing to put in the money for that kind of change. Also, if the game had to go down for any length of time for that, I think Square Enix would be like, no, we can't let your game go down. And then it'd be like, oh, why not? Because that'd be unfair to the customers. Oh, why is that? And they wouldn't say it's because you're making us so much money, because then they have to acknowledge that you're making a good product and we should probably pay you more or give you more resources to work with. But I'm not saying that just putting more people on the team would make things happen, but I feel like just more support in general, you know, maybe gain some outside people to help with the whole engine thing, you know, so that the team could still work on what they need to, and this team can like study the system. Yeah, all of that. Again, I don't think just throwing more people or money at the dev team is gonna magically solve things. But I think it'd be a start. I do think it'd be a start. Where it's not gonna make immediate miracles happen. But over time, it'd be an investment well worth it. But that's the thing, it'd be an investment. And we have to do that for Final Fantasy 17 instead and waste all of the money that Final Fantasy 14 got us. This is gonna be a nightmare to edit. But anyways. Thank you for listening. If you have anything to say about how dumb I am or what you thought about what I said, let me know. I might do another one of these where it's actually more coherent. I actually look up some of the things I'm talking about. But yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.